finale. Let's get it. Let's get it. Today we're talking about something so key, so crucial, so important. I just want to shout out Zach, also known as Schizo the Prophet, aka Timeless the Prophet. I believe that's your Instagram. You can link it down below if you want. But yeah, we were exploring on the podcast last night about this concept of vitalism. And also I wanted to talk to you guys about this thing called VAJRAMAXXIng, or life force optimization, okay? It's a very important topic, and I think a lot of us, we really need to explore this in much more depth, okay? Because we know it on the surface what it is, okay, to maintain our energy. But what are some habits that you can actually do each day that gives you that life force energy, that gives you this feeling of ease, this feeling of freedom, right? I'm noticing my voice a little bit deeper today. And I think it's because I did some Reiki on myself. I did some Reiki healing on myself. I set the intention, I had the container, I played some frequencies, and I got it done, you know? And today I'm just like tapped into this energy right now. And I'm understanding what it means to be somebody who has this kind of tantric charisma, or this Vajra. I'm starting to really understand it on a much clearer and better level, okay? Now, in culture, we like to polarize and think like, okay, there's left brain, right brain, okay? Left wing, right wing, okay? Left path, right path. On our pathworking, we've understood to bring it back to neutrality, because from the 0 point of consciousness, we can then create. Okay, from that emptiness, we emerge. Okay, so first of all, instead of going and getting split amongst ideologies, why don't we bring it back to what is most natural to us? Why don't we bring it back to what is most primal to us? Why don't we allow ourselves to tap into our life force energy, aka our Vajra, instead of draining it? Right now you might be thinking of your energy levels and you might be thinking, man, it's being drained in so many different ways, right? When I'm going on social media, maybe certain negative individuals or people that you're hanging around that drain your energy. Okay, maybe you are consuming some kind of substance or something like that that's draining your energy. There might be bad habits that you're doing, or behavioral things that you're doing that are draining your energy. It might be that you are channeling and you are, working with beings, and they might be siphoning your energy. So there could be so many different ways that your energy is being drained. We believe in energy preservation and maintenance, also protection. They understand this is a game of energy protection and preservation, okay? We want to keep that loosh alive for ourselves, okay? So, the culture that you see right now wants to attack everything that supports life and fertility. And I think we got to start here. We first of all got to start here. Why is it that we're shaming women for being feminine and men for being masculine? That's number one, right? Let's start to first of all take away those layers and really start to understand what's going on underneath the surface, okay? Because at the start of a civilization, at the start of something epic, right? Start of something new, you understand that they want to make the human body vulgar. They want to degrade us. However, fertility, as far as I understand it, comes from this idea of this sense of adventure. Okay, the sense of conquest that a lot of us have lost, that hero's journey, okay? A lot of us have lost access to that hero's journey, and that's why we keep starting on the path, but then coming back around, right? Not going into the extraordinary world. So, let's first start to understand that you are a byproduct of your storyline. What is the story you're telling yourself? What are the beliefs you're telling yourself? Okay? So, VAJRAMAXXIng, it's a view that living things have a vital force that governs the chemistry of life, okay? Think about your vibe. like a musical note that keeps shifting and affecting everybody. What is the definition of a storyline? Storyline is basically your own narrative that you have chosen for yourself, or it has been chosen or imprinted upon you, right? So let's just say I am bad at spelling. Let's say that's your storyline. You're going to create those patterns and make mistakes as you're writing more and more. But if you change that storyline, every day I'm getting better at creating more of a grammar and an acumen and a conjugation, and I can spell actually. I'm looking for more opportunities to do so, right? Then we're really starting to tap into this stuff. So first and foremost for this lesson, okay, forget everything that you know. Okay, you're a newborn baby. What do you think, right? What is all this stuff around me? What is all this consciousness around me, okay? And as I'm studying these altered states of mind, I came across this idea of Turiya. Now, Turiya is the fourth state of consciousness or state of mind. We have sleeping, we have being awake, and we have dreaming, okay? Now, there's an in-between state, okay? In Mahayana, they call Turiya an in-between state, actually, if you looked into it, okay? Now, what that means is it's a state between waking and dream. So there's like 5 to 6 different types of Turiya as well, okay? But what Carl Jung and other scientists have found is that moment when you wake up from sleep or when you're going to sleep, you know that little hazy period where you see little lights and little flickers and maybe you see some just haziness from the other side, right? The other realm. I find, yeah, man, I shouted out Zach in the beginning of this video. So, it's very, very important, man, that we understand this, because the Turiya, if you look at Freud, he calls it like, or even Jung, he calls it the pre-conscious mind, okay? So it's the mind even before it became conscious, right? That primordial essence, that energy. So we have all these vibrational levels that come through as the science also show us, the neuroscience of this stuff shows us we have different brainwave states, okay? Alpha, theta, beta, delta, gamma, we have all of these states. And this disembodied consciousness are these very strong monk level, rishi, sage level downloads happen through gamma waves. And to be able for myself to tap into some of these higher intergalactic energies that I communicate with, I have to tap into and listen to gamma waves and gamma wave frequencies, okay? To raise my consciousness up to that level and be able to maintain and hold it. Now, some people believe like there's a lot of other ones to focus on, like epsilon and stuff like that. That's going besides the point, right? Let's focus on these and let's start to continue forward, okay? Now, similar to the way of Bruce Lee's, way of the intercepting fist, this is the Jeet Kune Do of spirituality, Primal Sutra. So let's get rid of the spiritual fluff and let's be an example of being a living laboratory of your own experiments, okay? So that's what I want to see. I want to see people have the hunger to go into these actual altered states of mind. This is for serious seekers only, okay? Don't join us if you're not going to take this process like an Olympic level athlete for your spirituality, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you can't use medicine or drugs and stuff like that, but as a shaman, you know that you're going to die and then come back to life, okay? That is the whole perception, is you can be in the darkness and perceive the darkness. You're seeing through the darkness because you are the light, okay? And again, this is what happened to me, and this is what has probably happened to you. But there are ways to induce these trance states, man. Like even just by going with like this with your fingers, you can enter alpha, or if you can roll your eyes back, you can enter alpha, knowing stuff from, Silva and so forth. Har Har Mahadev. So the ego, right, the seer is there, but then we deconstruct this illusion, and instead of this temporary hacking of a mystical experience of, taking psychedelics, which is valid, but then again, how do you become psychedelics? Okay, how do you become shrooms? That's the question, right? I don't want to ingest it, I want to become it. I want to access that state readily. I want Kundalini and Shakti flowing through me, right? I want Vajra back. I want life force back. And shadows are clearly blocking your natural state of being, okay? So the mindset is everything, okay? The mental fortitude as a shaman to withstand the nonsense, to withstand these lower entities, to start. And where to start? You unbug your mind. If you're having difficulty doing this, join our ADEPTS program. Join our pathworking, okay? This is the interface with which how you're going to really interact with the world is through your imagination and through your mind. And once we teach you the proper techniques, okay? The visualization, how it all goes together, that's the next level up. And you also have your own spiritual path working, which is chakra dominant in a very specific energy center too. And that's what we figured out along the path too. So back to the topic, man. Okay, let me just go through some of these questions. Why should we care about VAJRAMAXXIng? So a lot of the times courage is about what love looks like, okay? It's being tested by the necessities of being alive. So you got to understand that this love energy, this woo-woo understanding of universal love and unconditional love, it's up there, but it's not really embodied. But when we look in the mirror and we're like, man, I look fly, man, I look good, right? And I have the energy to back it up, right? Back in the days, they used to focus on these Greek god statues, right? And we used to be in awe of that because there was such an aesthetic, right? Such an understanding of life force energy that we understood from them. Why is it important? Is because culture is bringing us more towards our virya, okay? And fertility follows your instincts, and virtues actually stem from vitality. It's not the other way around. It's not the, oh, I have my virtues and then I will be vital. Though we did do it like that at the beginning, then we understood we just gotta beast up. We just gotta beast up our powers, right? We just gotta be men. We gotta be fertile. We gotta understand that this is who we are. This is who I am. This is why I'm here. I am unapologetically me, right? That dominant energy that you bring to your day. And it's psychologically dominant, so you have to actually conquer that little bitch voice inside, that little pussy voice inside that says, no, I don't want to do it, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, maybe you can do it next week, I'm not really sure about that, I don't know if, you know, that guy. And you need to just be like, hey, keep it down, okay? Keep it down up there, inner critic. I need my Vajra to be able to actually say no to my inner critic, right? I need life force energy to celebrate life and enjoy life way more. This is why VAJRAMAXXIng is so much more important than Looksmaxing, okay? Looksmaxing is great, let me tell you that, okay? Looksmaxing is fine, but you need this life force energy. And hey, if you take a look at all the attractive people, what do you see indicators of? Health, right? Health and vitality. They have a glow about them. They have a healthy aura, correct? When you see a beautiful, like just spiritual baddie goddess, right? And you actually engage with her, right? You let her move your energy and you notice that Shakti energy that's flowing within her. That's the quality that you truly admire in her. Is her ability to be creative, to be intuitive, to have that oracle essence, to be able to actually be a support to you, right? Within your masculine. She becomes the amplifier energy. From her, there is the womb, and then she gives birth to this world, right? So that motherly or that maternal instinct, we also embrace and appreciate, or that fatherhood instinct to be able to, I mean, why do we respect, Ragnar and like Hercules? Besides the fact that they have many sons, and a lot of these conquerors, these people, they have many sons, But start to understand that this is the energy of creation that we're talking about. When we're talking about vitalism, especially, living organisms are different from non-living entities, they're saying. And so they call it the vital principle, the vital spark, the vis vitalis, okay? They have lots of names for it. We call it mana, of course, like the Polynesian word, because we're going to New Zealand. If you're interested in going to New Zealand, shoot us a message, okay, to get on the wait list. We take actually one student, but hey, this time it might be different. We might bring 2 people on, 3 people on, let's see, okay? Let's see what goes down. But we are committed if you are committed. That's it, okay? That's the reciprocity here. So, let's tap into this, man. So, Vikrant or Virya means potent or powerful. It is that warrior quality. It's that quality of effort. And effort, if you look at the science, testosterone, that ability for you as a man to actually do things needs effort, right? You need effort to go to the gym. You need effort to work long hours. You need effort to do certain things. But we've been taught, don't give effort. And it's been also brainwashed into our parents, like, you just gotta, what do they say? pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You gotta have some gumption. You gotta have some grit, right? That's the old boomers and so forth, right? But now we're understanding that also in Ayurveda, virya is what produces action in the drug. The drug and the medicine, for it to actually work, you need that life force energy for it to be transferred and to actually help you along the process. This is what the Ayurveda is saying. So now we understand a lot of these different maps together is going to help us. VAJRAMAXXING, also Whis, kind of sounds like Whis, like, you know the character Whis from Dragon Ball Z, right? I find that fascinating. Also, I used to look like Whis with the gold hair, right? Like back in the day. I'm just roasting myself now. But yeah, basically, you want to understand that if you look at, let's say, a tiger, okay? And then you look at a little insect, like a bug or something, right? Like a little scarab beetle, or no, not a scarab beetle. Scarab beetles are cool in our pathworking, right? They mean so much to us. But let's just say something lame, you know? Like a little, yeah, like a little worm or something, you know? You look at the tiger and you see this ferocity, you see this gracefulness, you see its majestic quality, right? This dynamism in which the way that the tiger moves, okay? You see the ripples of the muscle, you see the intensity in the eyes, you get drawn into the world of that tiger, okay? But then when you see a worm, you're like, ew, bro, what is this, right? But that tiger has that much more vajra. That tiger has that much more life force energy. And it's energy that can be used to kill or to love, right? So the thing is, you can use chi in martial arts to demolish somebody, but at the same time, you can use chi for your own betterment and your own health and growth, correct? So let's start to understand it like this too, okay? I know I went off about that topic, Ranji, but it's a good question. Why should we care? What are the main lessons for us Primal Sutra adepts from Maname is the question. So for all the adepts listening right now, I want you to understand that really what you learned from Maname is that you've been able to, number one, focus on your eating and your diet and the supplements you're taking and find ways to optimize it. Taking a little bit of like olive oil with your supplementation to help with the absorption, as Zach taught us, right? So then the next thing we have to pay attention to, I mean, it's all about sacredness. This month is all about the sacredness of that energy and getting stuff done. So if you've experienced a lot of ups and downs and dips in your energy this month, it's been good as an adept because now you've learned where your limits are. Now you've learned where you crash, how you can optimize, you can get yourself to the next level, right? And breath is another one that I want you guys to focus on, as well as having an attitude of gratitude. We came across this understanding as adepts that we are the defenders of joy, correct? And perhaps we're going to have Jubilant June or Joyful June coming in with this new frequency that we're embodying and tapping into, which is the attitude of gratitude. It's that ability to say, hey, you know what? I do have enough. You know, I do appreciate what I have. And that creates the optimism, that creates the growth potential, the expansiveness, right? And also there's science showing that attitude changes your cells, you know, with the epigenetics element and the vitalism element, okay? And also, I know it can go a little bit wishy-washy at times and, you know, pseudoscience, but I love this stuff because it's so crucial, right? It's so crucial for our culture to understand why men and women just don't feel like themselves anymore. They don't feel like their authentic selves. They're always trying to emulate something rather than being and just enjoying life, you know, celebrating life, like being fully present and just being there, you know? But yeah, let's get into the other understanding. If you're an adept, you know, you understood that if you looked at, let's say you were scrolling through social media and you looked at something that shocked you, you know, a war-torn nation or, you know, a beggar. I sometimes Google an image of a beggar or a really overweight person, right? And I remind myself of the gratitude where I'm at and where they're at. Right? I remind myself, I humble myself and bring myself back down that could have been me. That could have been my deck of cards. I could have had a hypothyroid issues, you know. I could have been way more overweight, right? And so having the gratitude, bringing it back down to your own sense of self, where you're at right now, and giving yourself that sustenance, that life force energy, that's going to expand your life force. So all of these are energy expanders. These are all habits that the adepts know, is focusing on food. Don't multitask while eating. I do that all the time as well. But now, as we're moving into this next month, I really understood today, bro. I didn't watch TV as I was eating. I wasn't on my phone as I was eating. I didn't listen to music as I was eating. It was me, a spiritual experience with my food. And as I was eating the broccoli or the pumpkin or the, I had a lot of veggies and so forth, and I was eating this stuff and the fried rice from yesterday. As I was eating this, first of all, I healed the food, right? All the shrimp. I healed the shrimp, okay, before I ate it. And then I sat down and I really tasted each morsel, right? Really understood that my palate is a color palette as I'm eating, right? And that food is going to be so enriching to me because it's going to give me that energy, give me that life force, and actually activate me. What if I have junk food, 5 days in a row, then that's going to drain my energy way further, right? That's going to make me break out, or that's going to make me, feel worse about myself. So I understand that the food is actually giving me that Vajra. The food is giving me that life force. And us adepts, we understood this. But also, I want you to understand that your visualization is so key and so important, man. That was the main lesson for me too, is to really understand the power of my imagination. To really understand where is it that I'm visualizing properly, right? So we learned two other things. We learned about eros and logos. We learned the masculine discerning quality of saying this is actually a good thought, this is a bad thought. I'm not going to go with that thought, I'm going to go with the other one, right? That ability to manage that. But then we also went with this idea of, okay, for the women, right, or the eros quality, that feminine essence, is the ability to relate to somebody else, the ability to connect with somebody else. And that's what that divine Shakti feminine energy is so good at, man. Being so caring, being so loving, being so kind, having that motherly energy for everybody, but also understanding she keeps her dark feminine alive, that little bit of that edge and that sexiness, right? And she can really maintain that vibe and that persona. She really looks after herself, and she's very, detail-oriented and very, very soft and subtle with her appearance. And she has this unconscious thing that she's doing that's pulling this allure, this influence around her, right, in the circles she goes to. But you understand that's all from Vajra. That's all from her life force energy, right? That's her hormonal health, and that she's working with the energy of her sexuality rather than repressing it, suppressing it, cutting it, editing it, snipping it up, putting it in a category, saying I'm this label, saying I'm demisexual, this sexual, that sexual, right? And giving yourself all of these limits around your own potential and what you can actually accomplish, right? What if I was like, bro, I'm a sapiosexual, so I have to go to libraries every day, right? You're missing out on the coffee shop interaction with a girl, right? You get what I mean? So these labels, man, understand when you come back to your own solidity as a man or woman, right? That own pure awareness essence. You don't need any extra props or anything else, bro, right? You really don't. I could be doing this in the middle of a desert island with nothing on, right? It doesn't matter. Right? It's the same essence, it's the same understanding. It's easier said than done, I understand that, but it would be like that, And so let's start to understand that the universe is going to be testing you. And if you feel like God is not on your side, guess what? The teacher doesn't disturb you when you're doing your exam, when you're doing a test. Does it? Okay, so start to understand that too. And also, we got to understand brahmacharya, no fab. If you're on semen retention, yeah, that's going to embrace that quality, right? That's going to give you that life force energy. It's been said that the Taoist diet is very healthy for adults over 30 and so forth. And, if you want to access that, just ejaculate every once a week, instead of every day, and you're draining yourself, you're actually picking up that charge and allowing yourself to maintain that essence. And if you want to go for longer, absolutely go for it. I know women who understand celibacy, or they understand that glow and that ability to maintain that essence within them too. A lot of them have glowed up, okay? A lot of them have understood that principle and really found out a way to be a consciousness hacker for themselves, okay? So shout out to all the beautiful spiritual baddies possibly watching this channel right now, and the fairies, of course, all the fae. So let's get back to the understanding that this virya, this vajra, is fearless and heroic. It's a quality that we all need nowadays, right? And it tells you that I have the capacity and the ability to keep going. I have the perseverance to keep going if I have more energy, correct? So think of like your peak physical health. If you have good mana, you also can think clearly, have better, psychic abilities. And also, if you think about this, the more mana, the greater level of excitement, enthusiasm, whatever you want to call that, right? That energy of like, whoa, something's about to happen. It's not the weird anticipation of fear, but it's more so an excitement energy. It's like it's like a charging of the Super Saiyan, right? So we understand that the energy is in pursuit of the good, the beneficial to ourselves and others. It is an energy that is supportive to life and flourishes and becomes what it needs. So if you have more mana, you actually have the ability to reach the target of telepathy much more easier with that energy. If you have a lot more energy, you can actually put that energy into your thought forms a lot more, right? You can shift the world around. So this is what we're understanding, but then again, you also have to have your pineal gland activated, and that's a whole different story, okay? But we have processes and ways for you to do this, and if you find out the right flow state code for yourself, you can make this process so much more swifter, easier, natural to you, okay? So let's get into the other questions, man. Yeah, shout out to Zach. Search Christ, he can change your whole life. You used to be invested in lust, and now I'm changed, a new person. Brother, man, I've doubled down on Christ, and he's been helping me out, man. Clearing a lot of stuff, bringing angels to my place. And, really giving me an old, like, father to son talk, you know what I mean? Like, really, listen, son, I know you're rebellious, right? I know you want to do this your own way, but there is a pathway to do this, right? And you got to sit down, humble yourself. Hey, listen to the word of God, man. Listen to that Holy Spirit, because it's only through the Holy Spirit that you can get that gift of channeling, really. Because other than that, like, you were tapping into some weird streams. Because even in Luke, I think, said that you have to test the spirits to make sure that they are one with God, right? And I always test the spirits. I test them. I'm like, yo, who's your master? Who's your master, right? Can't have more than one. That's weird, okay? So, let's tap in. How does VAJRAMAXXING handle lust, etc.? Oh, that's a great idea. So think about this. You're working with your senses, right? And all lust is just basically a sense, is a heightened arousal, right? And a lot of the times, guys get confused with that energy. Sexual energy to a lot of men is actually frustration and anxiety. It's not actually a horniness that they think it is, okay? Now, this might blow some of your minds, but really think about this, okay? This energy, and I've worked with the lust demon, okay? So I know lust better than anybody, okay? I know lust actually better than anybody if you really think about it. And that energy of lust, what it does is, it makes you feel like I don't have enough of this feeling of Vajra yet, okay? So lust is actually a kind of, instead of the love, right? It's kind of like you're wanting to extract, and it's this, but it's also this energy of like, really like giving you that lust for life, that zest for life too, so the passion element to it. So there is a negative positive to this thing, right? You have to know how to use it, right? Especially through some of these path workings, yogic principles, Mula Bandha, you can pull some of that energy up and have it resonate through your different chakras, but you got to know how to do that process, right? So the energy that you're noticing, how can lust help with that? It's your relationship with it that needs to change. Right now, you're using lust as a cop-out for actual connection. You guys get that? So, through VAJRAMAXXING, and also in the tantric practices, they tell you about, activating sensorial bliss. Of course, that's higher level tantra, where you're actually merging with another deity and God and goddess, Heroes Gamos thing happening. That's very high level tantra. However, in the beginning stages of tantra, they tell you, like, just envision the deity's hand, or imagine them just smiling at you, right? Right, just little simple things like this, that we take for granted, really. Towards attraction, there's an escalation process. You guys get that? Right? Maybe a little high five, then a hand on the shoulder a little bit, then a little fist bump, then you get closer, maybe a kiss on the head, right? And you start that's that understanding that you really want to understand, okay? So, it's the same way with your lust. It's like you got to understand when it's going too far. You got to understand your temperance and your moderation, right? And there are certain practices where you can actually transmute or give up the lust towards Vajrayogini. And if you check out one of my videos on that, you'll understand that I use that process quite a bit, and it actually ended up working, you know? So when I was feeling this unsettled feeling within, I just imagine I'm just giving it to Vajrayogini, and she's just, you know, she knows what to do with it better than I do, okay? So again, these are powerful practices, but again, you guys need to have the right mentors, the right, you know, framework, and the right level of shamanic confidence that, hey, I can do this, man. Okay. Look at Wifsy77, right? I bet he's a British guy. Shut up, shush. No one says that. Stop waffling. Right? What the fuck is he talking about? What is blood on about, mate? What is this bro saying? Can you answer the chat, dude? Did you just shout? Oh yeah, you're just yapper. All right, let's go through this. Fuck another person higher than a fucking kite. Oh yeah, what about being bro? Oh yeah, moving your arms, keep moving the way you do. Bro is waffling, got a bottle of Yoshin, I'm beating my shit. Bro's yapping, but warm nourish the land, keep talking. Negative aura, what do you believe in? Shush, keep talking. Learn about the Bible, couldn't wait for comp. Keep talking, Habibi. I like that one. This guy's cool. Why aren't you outside, bro? Because it's fucking hot, bro. There's a heat wave in India. What you talking about? I want to be outside after this. Hey, maybe your sister can join. Don't let the devil deceive you into believing that you can fly. Hey, absolutely. Okay? Don't believe you're Superman. You're on Superman, okay? Go outside, dude. Do you wash your hair? Yeah. Greasy hair? Nah, bro. It's from the rosemary oil or whatever. From yesterday. You don't even make sense, bro. You don't even make sense, bro. Like, really hating right now, bro? Yeah, he is hating, bro. He doesn't. Good point. Well, who is bro talking about? Read chat, bro. Something aura. He's not even making sense, bro. If you actually listen to him, he makes sense. Blah, blah, blah. Negative something aura. All I hear is homeless people and overweight. Bro, chill. Can you read the chat, mate? It's stuff you figure out 6 years old when your mom would tell you. You guys are annoying. He's making enough sense. You healed the shrimp when you ate it. Yeah. I did. Pause though. All this extra energy stuff is nonsense. Womp womp. These guys are kids, huh? Like, you guys are actually kids. Like, why else would you start talking about yapping? That's a zoomer. That's like such a Gen Z thing to do, bro. Skibbity, Riz. I know you guys are kids, bro. What? What's that drawing behind you, bro? This is a Padmasambhava Guru Rinpoche. The bro is edging right now, doing trigger him, blah, blah, blah. Psychic abilities. That's not Christ, bro. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, how do I know that God actually forgives me and that Satan is not secretly talking to me instead while I try to reach for God? Oh, that's a great question, Rick. It's not in your thoughts and in your emotions, bro, okay? That's probably Satan. God comes from a knowingness and a pure awareness, and it's more from being in the present moment and from your heart space, okay? So you feel a lot of peace and bliss when you tap into God's energy. It isn't this kind of nervous energy of this kind of frantic type of energy of like trying to impress or like trying to, you know, do certain things. It's just it's like a purity, it's a realness, right? So being able to tap into that, bro. That's the best way to really tell, okay? Hey, thank you, Kenneth. I'm from India. Appreciate it. Man, you guys yap more than me, bro. Seriously, though. You guys are the yappers. Yappertron 5000s over here. Like, you guys are talking more in the chat than I am, bro. What the? But yeah, the real ones, go and listen back to this content, okay? Listen to the actual information. Okay, don't look at the cover and just be like, oh, there's another guy yapping, blah, 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 blah. You know, impressions onto it, rather than actually listening to the message. Okay? You gotta listen to the message, brother. Okay? You gotta listen to the message. I'm Uncle Makara, okay? What is the Makara? It's the Indian sea monster. Go research it yourself, okay? So, we all need this vitalism, right? That ability to just tap into our energy centers and pull energy through from the Holy Spirit, from that God chakra, down into our physical beingness, okay? And if we really looked at it back in the day, they were focusing on things like valor, you know, glory, freedom, you know, conquest, conquering. And we lost that sense. You know, it faded away. A lot of different cultures call it different things. We call it prana in India. Okay, you might call it chi or ki if you're in Japan. You might call it high thumos if you're Greek. Okay, thumos if you ever heard of that term, high thumos. If you're Greek, okay. Mana if you're Polynesian or Melanesian. And vril. You guys have heard of the word vril, right? That's another way to say it. And of course, there's a lot of like conspiracies around that and stuff too. Like, it's very interesting stuff though. You guys need to look into this idea of really tapping into your vital life force energy. Like, that's really what we're actually seeking. Because think about it. What would you rather support, right? Somebody who stands for life, innovation, and evolution, or somebody who stands for the opposite? That's how you know God and Satan, bro. You guys get that? God is that energy of feeling alive, feeling present. I'm right here, man. I'm enjoying my time. It feels good. The other one feels bad, right? The other one feels like I'm tempted, I'm scattered, I'm distracted, I don't know where I'm going, okay? I'm constantly pacing around, trying to make it a certain way, having expectations over the situation rather than embodying and embracing it, okay? Not owning your state of mind, right? If you're feeling cranky, I'm gonna be so sarcastic, witty, and cranky, bro. I'm gonna amplify that vibe up, not bring it down, not bring myself lower. And of course, I can be anything, right? It's these moments of silence that matter too, where I'm not doing anything, okay? But just allowing myself to embrace and celebrate being the character that I truly prefer to be in this lifetime, you know? Not buckling down and just doing whatever other people tell me to do, but really being able to shape my reality through shaping my mindset. And that's what this is about, man. This is not some kind of quick fix mentality. This is not some kind of get rich quick scheme. This is not some kind of band-aid that you put over your spiritual process. This is deep, transcendent healing. And that's what I've done for myself. That's what I help others do. And it's a powerful understanding, man. Because once you heal yourself, you bring out all the unhealed people. You can see it right here, bro. You know? So, what I really want you to understand right here is, are you dreaming or are you aware? Once you are going into your dream and you've understood lucid dreaming, you can also manifest better and become clearer with your experience, okay? But just when you're going to sleep, notice and observe that mind that is slowly going into sleep and into the dream. Observe that mind. Question that mind. Be there. You're already there. Affirm it. And as you start to understand that hypnagogic, hypnopompic state as well, you'll be floating in between and accessing that turiya much more readily within your waking life and consciousness, man. And that's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful experience, because anybody who's really delved into studying the spiritual stuff knows it's not just about, you know, listening to a bunch of masters speak and then going at 10x the speed and just trying to, regurgitate knowledge or information, but it's understanding by their example, really being, understanding their words and where that essence is coming from. There's clearly something coming from a lot of different people, not like kuming, right? Not like gooning. I mean, actually like arriving in their minds, right? Like downloads. So understand that if they get that specific download, it's going to come through their unique vessel, their translation device, very differently than somebody else's. You give my thoughts to somebody else in a different body, and it'd be kind of strange listening to it because it doesn't seem aligned towards the character that is forming, right? So there might be a lack of authenticity with something like that. You get what I mean? And that's the thing, a lot of influencers nowadays, they manufacture their authenticity, thinking that they can manufacture their Vajra, right? Thinking that they can manufacture, how people perceive me. I'm the coolest or whatever. But rather than actually embracing the aliveness of the moment where you have that natural spontaneity already. What if each moment was an offering to your deities, right? Think about this. Like, what if this moment was for the Buddha? This moment right here, what if it was? What if it was from the Buddha? And I'm taking it for granted, not knowing. And I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm so alone, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How can you be so alone? It's overcrowded in here, bro. All these spirits, you guys seeing this? Maybe not. Maybe not. But now it's time to, what? Embrace and appreciate that experience because it's very real to me, man. It's very real to me. Some people might say, oh, you live in a world of fantasy, and that's all mythologies and stuff, and that's all stories, and yeah, that's all stuff that, you probably read, and that's all stuff. Listen to yourself speak. Listen to your own projections. That's how you think. That's not how I think. Okay? I don't compare myself to other life coaches. Okay? No way. I compare myself to like Baki or like some anime or something, right? I compare myself to like, One Piece. Bro, I live differently. Okay? I'm comparing myself to different ancient mythologies and learning about my culture and understanding the genetic Indian imprint and how we were all born into this understanding in these skinny fat bodies, understanding we came from a history of famine. You guys get that? And we're afraid of a food shortage in the future, so we're holding in all this fat along with the ghee and all that, clarified butter. I get that, right? But it's more so our understanding of our own genetic code. Compare myself to Piccolo. That's right, man. Piccolo. Exactly. Hey, Honey Eater knows what it's about, man. Because that energy is on another level, right? You understand, like when you watch a character, right, on a TV show, they have their whole life story. They have a backstory. They have all this gold, right? All these golden nuggets, this dialogue, this incredible sense of self, right? This sense of character. And that's what we're missing in this day and age. When you look around, do you say that that guy's a character? No, that's a carbon copy of somebody else, bro, right? And I look around and all I see are carbon copies. All I see are clones of each other, right? Let Clonate fund all these NPCs because really, all these TikTok guys who are dancing look the same, bro. What? Why? What is that? It's the trend. It's the cultural, spiritual trend hoppers, right? That come on and say that, oh, you just have to buy this incense to really improve your lifestyle, trying to sell their brand instead of what? Accessing that aura, that glow within, and living an authentic life where their results show for their spiritual growth and their ascension process, man. Do your results show for your spiritual work that you've done? Does your life portray those qualities? Right? Personally, I'm more of a Tony Soprano type guy. Hey, that's incredible, right? But again, don't live in the fantasy of Tony. Embody that frequency of, hey, what are you talking about, man? Right? That essence. Like, tap into it. Embody it. Don't just watch him on a screen. Okay? Now, I'm not saying become a cocaine crusader. Okay? No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay? But what I am saying is, he has a quality to him, right? An essence, a gravitas about him, an edge. And we're all finding our personal edge, right? True, that's why I root for the underdogs. Yeah, man, because you resonate, you are an underdog. You resonate with that quality within you. Maybe life is just, you know, kept pimp slapping you at random moments, right? It's just been like, ah, fuck, like I'm trying to level up here, right? But then you, and you get knocked down again and again and again and again. And after a while, you reach a threshold where you say, enough is enough. I'm tired of being tired. I'm gonna change something, bro. But you gotta get to that point. You gotta get to that precipice. I'm tired of being tired, bro. I need to do something different with my energy. It's insanity doing the same thing, expecting different results, right? So that's it. Tap into your novelty today. Do something new. Explore a new route to work or something, okay? Make this journey exciting, positive, and spontaneous. I'm telling you, your life will never be the same again. And I will see you in this portal jump in June. May you never be the same again. May the flow be with you. Stay legendary, guys, okay? We all got this. You got this. Upward Spiral gang. We're all gonna make it. I'll see you in the astral. Uncle Makara out.